by our own Dr. Naras Bhat. Dr. Naras Bhat is a medical doctor certified by 5 different boards, working as a creator educator for multi-specialty medical group called Jiva Health. Teaching at UC Berkeley for 25 years as a professor, former dean, and becoming a founder academic dean of the HCI Institute, focusing on Vedantha and positive psychology, writing several books on this topic. He's developed a deep professional wisdom on mind-body medicine, which he will be sharing with us today. His current passion of being a creator educator combines Eastern wisdom with Western science via modern techniques like AI. By integrating his experience with his cutting-edge AI, he's been able to create a robot, Vismaya, equipped with skills to help youth with stress and modern-day problems. So he also has a website titled MaximumSelf.com, where all the things he will be discussing today will be on there. You can find it, and you will also find his AI robot, so definitely take a look at that. Now, this leads us into the interesting and fascinating topic that he will be discussing with us today, how social media affects the youth and how Vedanta is a solution to this. Please, everyone, join your hands together for Dr. Naras Bhat.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am very delighted to share with you Vismaya. Vismayo Yoga Bhumikaha. So we are going to share with, look at this. I know it is dark, but for this event, please don't use your WhatsApp. Ask me WhatsApp doc. Now, I have, it's a little bit dark audience. Is there a way you can increase a little bit light for the audience? Okay, good enough. So, there are 3 things what we call as a classroom instruction. Number 1, the organizers told me to upgrade your seat. Many of you have heard me about the sitting disease. Pennington Research Institute in Shreveport, Louisiana has showed us that after 3 to 4 hours of sitting, every minute you sit, you die 2 minutes sooner. So my gift to you is, in Sanskrit, it is called Upavisha. It is a visha. So instead of sitting, in human tribe always sat like this. But when you sit in the chair, you sit and raise your feet up. Your core is engaged, and the lipoprotein lipase gets activated, and then you live longer. And then you can raise your shoulders back. It gives you more activity for your lipoprotein lipase. I understand if some of you don't want to do it. I understand if you're in a hurry. If you're in a hurry, then let me put this away. The second thing is parking your tongue. Normally, you park your tongue on your upper jaw. For Vismaya performance today, you raise your head up and drop your jaw. Then the tongue gets unparked from your upper jaw, ready to taste the Vismaya I'm going to share with you. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, if I ask you, starting from tomorrow morning, every morning, you look at a tree and bark, how many will you do it? I know it is dark. One person in the back. I just did this performance 2 weeks ago in Silicon Valley, about 6, 7 times more audience than this. At the end of my performance, everybody raised their hand and they said, we will look at a tree and bark every morning. The organizer said, they're going to send me a message now. Are you out of your mind? And if you say, tell our audience to get up in the morning and look at the tree and bark, they're going to displace me from my platform. Instead, that is the tool or the sadhana that will displace you from the toxic social media platform. Vismayo Yoga Bhumikaha. All of you say Shiva Sutra Vismayo Yoga Bhumikaha. Please say. Wonderful. Look at the child, what child is doing. We are going to share everything in threes. I don't know about you. I only can remember yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya who? Bhava Arjuna. Everything you're going to learn in Trinity. These are the three institutes from which I learned to teach what you're going to learn. One, right from here, you pen, Martin Seligman is the father of positive psychology who taught me way back in 2002, me and my wife, the positive psychology that is taking you not from the disease of -10 and bringing you to 0, from the 0 to taking you to +10, which is called the positive psychology. And the second, the most important is this. Dr. Keltner is the psychology brain, the emotional brain behind the Inside Out 1 and Soul and Inside Out 2 movie produced by Walt Disney. For your information, he is going to be live in a web conference this Tuesday, the 9th, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. I will be there. If you want to ask him any question about the movie or the vismaya or the awe as the emotion. And finally, it is the institute where I was the founder's dean. We provide not only diploma but also doctorate degree in Hindu spiritual seva. Learn to serve. Uddaret atmana atmanam. And in that institute, this year for the first time on this planet, accredited doctorate degree, 1 from Canada, 2 from Australia, 4 from US, we are giving, and I happen to set up the curriculum for that system. Besides the Sadguna of a Havyaka, I have 3 Upagunas that you all have in common, and that one is Upanaya, Upavasa, and Upanishad. Today we are going to talk about, just at least comment on a couple of Upanishads, Mandukya, Mundaka, and perhaps, if the time permits, Brihadaranyaka. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Shambhu Krishna Shastri, who started the Samskrita Bharati, which is he made using your mother tongue to learn Samskrita, which is called Sarala or Sarala Samskrita. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a ball, you see there, here is the ball of a string or the yarn, and it is entangled. Sarala is looking at this end of the whole thread, thinking you may do it. It is simplistic. And my contribution is one step further. After embracing, I have expanded the Samskrita Bharati into not to Samskrita, Sulabha Samskrita. Labhyate iti sulabham. It's very wide. I'm able to learn to teach Vedanta in triplets, 3 words at a time. How? Here is how it is. When you look at the distance, look at the horizon, the mountain and everything, there is Ananta, Diganta. You go for a trip and with your friends to a new location. Oh, look at that. Look at that tree. Oh, look at that bus and look at that mountain. Your mind picks what it wants to see because Chanchalam Himanaha Krishna. So what happens? It is not the Vedanta, it is not the Diganta, that is the Ananta. What is most important is the Mattenta. And did you know that Mattenta Vedanta is the solution for Ekanta? Did you know, May, what's her name? Theresa May? Theresa May, or May, people thought she may or may not the mantri or the ministry for loneliness in UK. Finally, she started 6 years ago. And that ministry, they have given us the data as to what is loneliness. And India is not going to have a ministry for loneliness. New York has an ambassador for loneliness. Japan has copied UK. Why? Loneliness is the biggest problem today, particularly for young people, the Yuva. Yuva is according to Pew Research, they are the people who are now aged between 12 and 27, the generation Z or Z. Younger than is Alpha, and older than is all of us. And that one is, once again, if you have the Vedanta, you don't worry about the Ekanta. Spiritual, the biggest problem for the youth or Yuva, all of you, when I say 1, 2, 3, say Yuva. Say 1, 2, 3. You said it all. In any language, in any culture, when you look at something vismaya or awe, there is no language to it. It's a biological instinct that says, wow. Spiritual degradation started in 2010. 3 things. You're going to learn everything 3 at a time. 3 things happened 2010. Young people, can you tell what happened in 2010? Number 1, the smartphone had a reverse camera, so you can take your own selfie and share it with anybody and everywhere on the platform called, what is that? Insta Pot. It's not Insta Pot, where you burn, you hit yourself and pot. That is Instagram. Okay? And the third thing, anybody, young people, third thing that happened, and that is the like button in Facebook. You only have a choice, either you like it, if you don't press like, what is it? Dislike. 2017, with the doctor, I mentioned the doctor expert, Dr. Keltner. What did he contribute is, he suggested to Facebook that we should include all emotions, they call it the reactions, that became reactivity, and that is a problem we're going to solve by Vismaya. Awe is added as one of the reactivity, and that is 2010. And here is that furthermore, spiritual degradation is or deficiency. You no longer live spontaneously anymore because you are texting. And then spiritual growth is learning, not the joy, the precursor to joy, which is called the awe or the vismaya. And here is the reason why. If you ask the generation Z or Z, of course, generation Alpha is just getting into puberty, the most vulnerable, sensitive time, and they are born to a world that already has social media platform. They have never seen the Mother Earth without the social media platform. Now, if you ask these people, the generation Z and maybe the others, X, Y, and whatever else you want to call our silent generation, many people don't know what is spirituality. 1/3 of people don't know. 1/3 of people think it is being religious. And 1/3 of people don't even know what spirituality is. And this massive research done on 75,533 people of Generation Z tells us that spirituality has a vertical axis of Atma and Paramatma, nature or the Prakriti and other people, that is Manavana Seveye, Madhavana Seve. And that's serving others. In this culture, we have a problem. How many people, and I will explain that thing, all humans are hardwired to be spiritual. It was Michelangelo once said that did you know the sculpture is hidden inside the rock and you chisel out the unwanted and the art shows up. Similarly, the spirituality is hidden in you because it is hardwired in you. You need to chisel out the other platform that you are feeling your FOMO. I want to reverse it and say it is the JOMO, not the FOMO, fear of missing out. It's the joy of missing out. So spirituality is the nourishment not only for your body but your mind as well. And nourishment, if you make the best baby food in the world, if the baby food does not taste it, the baby will not eat it. And similarly, the awe is the sweetness, the taste of the spirituality, ladies and gentlemen. And what is awe? Vismaya. The eye-opener, raised brow, and jaw-dropper, head lifter, the tongue ready to taste. Look at that. Eyes up, tongue ready to taste, unparked from the upper jaw. And then you forget yourself. Tanmaya. You are connected to the vastness and you feel yourself diminished self. Furthermore, let's go back for one moment. Why do we need to do this? Because of your texting. Did you know? Did you know that the youth that is Gen Z touch their smartphone 2,617 times in a day, and 3 times as much in younger people who are using 5 hours of the social media platform. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't touch our own body 2,617 times a day. But you touch this instrument. This is the book that we recommend. Jonathan Haidt, who is a congressional witness on the platform media harm to the young people, has written the bestseller. Look at the tragedy that has happened with the smartphone and platform, social platform. Since 2010, there is a hockey stick rise of 134% of anxiety, 106% of depression, ADHD, bipolar, anorexia, all of this 2010. And then look at this. We are no longer raising our children biologically. Children are raised by phone-based childhood as opposed to play-based childhood, because we, particularly after COVID times, we tell our children come and play inside, and then what they do, play with their toy is this. ಮನೆಯೊಳಗೆ ಆಡೋ ಗೋವಿಂದ ನೀನು ನೆರೆ ಮನೆಯೊಳಗೆ ಹೋಗುವುದು ಏನು ಚಂದ. That is where the damage occurred. Play-based now, spiritual degradation happened all with the 2010 onwards. Boys and girls are different. In girls, particularly since 2010, suicide rate means they killed themselves. That incidence increased 35 to 39%. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who have children of the Generation Z girls in your house, 20% of them are currently thinking of suicide ideas. Suicide ideas. And the boys of that age are thinking of pornography and video games, national statistics. And girls, why? We're going to discuss why. 66% of the girls do it. And why is the answer. Look at this. Social media by smartphone, 60% of the youth. Keltner, the same guy, father of the emotion of awe, 321,000 people from 26 countries study, shows these people are pulled by the mighty pull of the smart media platform. The difference between smart media and smart media platform is platform, I'm performing in the platform. In the smart media, you are performing to the virtual audience of 500,000 or 5,000. With those virtual audience, you are looking at their virtual perfection. You are trying to be as good as those virtual perfection people. And that besides, the fixed gaze downwards is the killer, ladies and gentlemen. Brainwave research done functionally MRI with the spectral analysis of 2 million images using AI came to the conclusion that besides anything else, the looking down. What is the solution? For you or your children, look up. No human being, no animal looks down 5 hours to 10 hours continuously. There is a circuit, ladies and gentlemen. I will repeat that twice so that you learn it. It is called DMN circuit. Default mode network circuit. I will repeat it in another context. Snapshot, I intentionally wrote it that way. You shoot a picture. Here, snap shoot. Because it affects the core of a human soul. Human doing is displacing the human being. Because they don't have no vismaya. Solution is what? The Yoga Sutra that says what? Vismayo yoga bhumikaha. You begin to reconnect the beginner's mind, which I will later on show you how to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in trouble. Why? technology is going up, the alligator jaw is lifted up, and the psychological jaw is dipping down. And that is going to grab you when it is happening. How? Look at that. We live in a virtual culture. Why? This is the crash. I told you we are going to learn everything in threes. What are the three? Asynchronous, text, and no body language. One more. Learn this, please. ABC. Asynchronous text-based communication. B, no body language. I am talking to you, I have a body language. If you're speaking to 5,000 people on your texting, no body language. And the third thing is, what did I say? Asynchronous, body language, and C is curated. No spontaneity of human emotion. You are curated, edited. If I want to say I love you, then I am thinking of the grammar. Am I telling it grammatically correct and texting it? More than anything else, in the Western culture only, ladies and gentlemen, we refer to ourselves with a big I, always I. And that is where the problem is. And the alligator's jaw has to be pushed up by pushing this up so alligator doesn't eat you. Look at that. See you later, alligator. Transformed. Nava, Yuva, Yuga. Ladies and gentlemen, AI has come in. AI is a co-pilot and Gemini. Do you ever believe the beauty is only green? Sundar Pache Allah. Sundar Pache Allah. And Satya Nadiola. Thank you. I created that model. And Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Satyam, it is Mithya, it is AI. Sundar is every color of the universe, not just the Pache and Shivam. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the thing. When you learn from Vedanta, some of it is in one area, some of it in already distant area, because it is a Diganta, Ananta, and what all that is, what are you doing in your mind, Matenta? And that is, this girl is scratching. Modalu Turi Matte Uri. Actually, this is from Subhashita Bhandara. That is actually, I'm a doctor. I can talk about anybody that scratches anywhere. And these people are, this Subhashita Bhandara is scratching in the private area. By the way, you know, men do it 30, 40 times a day, the doctors say. Okay, now, what is it? Andam kanduyanam bhavati sukham. Tat sukham tava bhupatiye. You are the king when it is happening, when you are doing it. Paschat bhavati dukkham, because turi becomes uri. And then that is tava vairinaha. Why is it? Where is the Vedantic principle on it? That is, Atmaireva Atmana Bandhu. Atmaireva Ripuratmana. Why? Because Uddaret Atmana Atvanam. What is awe? Awe, I already mentioned, now we are going to look at the physiology awe. Vagus nerve is, what is it? What goes in Vegas does not just stay in Vegas, it is all over the body. Krit prano samano nabhimandale vyano sarva shariragaha. That is, the oxytocin is released all over your body. And this is the most intriguing thing. When you are looking at the cell phone, your eye is the pupil is opening and closing. Pupil reflects to light. It is this, I mentioned DMN, default network. Now, this is very profound. This is what happens is when you use your social media platform, default network gets dysregulated. Rupam drishyam lochanam draka. Lochanam drishyam manasa draka. Manasam drishyam prajna sakshi. So what you see, if I tell you, earth is moving around the sun, not the sun is moving around the earth. What you see is the sun moving around the earth. That is why the mind, eyes do not know what the mind does not. Eyes do not see what the mind does not know. This, they got it from, did you know Arjuna is in chapter 11, he filed chapter 11? Yeah. And what did he say? Look at the philo-erection. Vismaya. When the Vishwarupa Krishna did, then Vismaya Vishto Krishna Romaha Dhananjayaha. And it is going to come out in Inside Out 3.0. This is hundreds and thousands of dollars research is done in San Francisco by Dr. Keltner. What they did is when you're looking at the Salesforce Tower from Fisherman's Wharf, if you draw yourself, you draw tall. But when you do it in Yosemite, you draw yourself to small because avahanam na janami. Mantrahinam, kriyahinam, bhaktihinam. The more vismaya you have, more smaller you feel. Is it not the housewife that cooks the best food? Then she asks, hope the food is not too hot, not it is too cold, not too spicy, because you are the Atiti Deva and she is doing it with the small self because she is feeling smaller self. Why? Because we live in a culture. How many people are from Chicago area here? Quite a few. Is it not the radio stations in Chicago start with the W? So ladies and gentlemen, we all have one radio station. It's called WIIFM. What is in it for me? This is the original research. Now, very important for doctors in the audience, enjoyment or pleasure increase and versus or the Vismaya, the IL-6 reduction is more by Vismaya. Then, this is what I do in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, many people are closer to retirement in the thing. The meaning of your life is to find your gift, and the purpose of your life is to give it away. That's what I'm doing. How do you find your gift? The nidhi has to have a vidhi, and a vitarane is the vidhi for the nidhi that you found. There is a website called viacharacter.org. You can go and visit it, and 30 million people have looked at it to find out, as if you hold a mirror in front of you and see what is your sadguna, what is your skill that you can share. Yogaha. Karmashu kaushalam. Almost finishing. Now, what are the triggers of sensory? What you see, hear, touch. And knowledge, I said, when first time you come to know the earth is round, not flat, first you come to know that sun is not moving around the earth is moving around the sun. That is the Vismaya you appreciate. And in Vedanta, we call it Vishayananda, Vivekananda, and finally, Brahmananda. And in nature, you are going to look at, here is what you look at, okay? The number one source of vismaya or awe in the world is other people's kindness. Ladies and gentlemen, your girls that are looking at your physical beauty, teach them what I learned and learned to teach, what Dr. Keltner has learned to teach, which is moral beauty. And that is the worthiness or the good in the other individual that is researched here. Generosity and gratitude or kindness or gratitude or kindness and kritajnata and kritajnoham karunoham too are not the opposite side of the same coin. Why? Here is what happened. I teach at UC Berkeley on a last year on a very foggy evening. Find a parking spot. Only people at UC Berkeley have a parking spot are Nobel laureates. And I was going to teach at the Pimentel Hall, and there was a Nobel laureate in the dark. He asked me, young man, he called me young man because he couldn't see how old I am because it was so foggy. And he said, what are you looking for? I said, I need a parking spot. I am late for my class in UC Berkeley. 10 minutes after the class time, if the professor doesn't show up, the class is canceled. Then he gave me his, my car got a Nobel Prize for the next 90 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Because this man was looking for a random act of kindness. This is the thing. We talk a lot about Shiva, and then the most important thing is, almost finishing, two more. Okay, now can you play that please, loud? No, can you start from the beginning? 1 minute, hold it please, hold it please. Those of you who can't understand Kannada, here is a simple thing I want to explain. This kid in Bengaluru, he went to temple, he was looking at the ritual and the bells and the smell of the temple. He could not get the vismaya that his father got. His father wanted to teach him a lesson. He went and bought 3 umbrellas. One for him, one for the mother, and one for the child. And then when they were going on the street, these old flower vendor ladies, Badi the who, Badi the mukha, they were sitting and selling the flower. Then the dad said, we are going to give your umbrella, your kode to this lady, and so that she doesn't suffer. The kid said, Anu kode en kode. Okay? Then he said, I will give you my, and then he gives the umbrella, and then the child goes to the temple. He transfers the knowledge and the experiential interoceptive antarsparsha of Vismaya, and then he sees Vismaya in going to the temple. Play it loud, please.
ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಹುಡುಕಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲದ ದೇವರ ಕಲ್ಲು ಮಣ್ಣುಗಳ ಗುಡಿಯೊಳಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇರುವ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಸ್ನೇಹಗಳ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇರುವ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಸ್ನೇಹಗಳ ಗುರುತಿಸದಾದೆನು ನಮ್ಮೊಳಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಹುಡುಕಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲದ ದೇವರ ಕಲ್ಲು ಮಣ್ಣುಗಳ ಗುಡಿಯೊಳಗೆ.
You can stop it. So that one was by Shiva Rudrappa. 3 times Shiva. Shiva Allah, Rudra Umatavanappa. Shiva Rudrappa wrote that. Very quickly, you can look at this here. This is called face and vase. Face and vase means, you are looking at the vase and the two faces, figure and ground. So you can increase your awe experience. And that is when you go tomorrow morning and look at the tree, look at the natural mandala of the bark, shift your attention from the bark to the tree. That is the secret of looking at the tree and bark. And you can put it as a wall, what do you call the FaceTime on your cell phone? What is it called? Wall mat. And so that every day you can get up and look at the tree and the bark. And this is the Upavasa. And Upavasa enhances your Vismaya. In India, women who do Upavasa for 2 reasons. One, Vrata, the other is Pativrata. Until the husband comes home, they don't eat. And that gives them the Vismaya. And finally, the prescription. Hope, I'm not going to cover simply this, goal, tool, and ritual. We are in a culture of attention deficiency, and the micro doses of awe, then when you are playing with your phone, then every moment, when you are touch, think of the tree and the bark, and then look up and take a break, or use a desktop rather than look down device for that. And now, I have created a website called Maximal Self. You will get 3 things from there. 1, further advancement of learning up to PhD on this topic. 2 is the event that is happening Tuesday. You can sign up. And finally, if you have questions, you can ask. I trained the robot. Can you click that for a moment? That thing. She will answer any question. Her name is Vismaya. No, it's okay. You can stop it. Last sentence I want to say is this. When you later on, when you are listening, you have a moment for Vismaya, then all you have to do is shh, Wah. And that is Shiva. And thank you.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ನರಸ್ ಭಟ್ರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇರಿ. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge. I would like to call Kusum ಮತ್ತು ರಾಮಚಂದ್ರ ಹೊಸಮನೆ on the stage. ನಮ್ಮ ಎಂಟರ್ಟೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಟೀಮ್ ಅವ್ರು ಹುಡುಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವರು. ಅವ್ರು ಆಡಿಟೋರಿಯಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರಾ? ಕುಸುಮ್ ಮತ್ತು ರಾಮಚಂದ್ರ ಹೊಸಮನೆ ಅವರು ಇದ್ದಾರಾ? ಬರೋಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ ಸ್ಟೇಜಿಗೆ?
I will come down.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And I just take my umbrella in case.
Yeah.